Have you ever played a game that the combat is good, but everything else is whatever? That game is Devil May Cry. Welcome back to some more Chaddy Talks Games. So Devil May Cry 1. This is going to be a replay for me. I'm currently going to go through a whole marathon with Devil May Cry and Bayonetta, and also play some Astral Chain as well. But Devil May Cry 1, this is a replay for me. I played it back in 2024 for the first time, and I thought that game was mid as hell. And replaying it now, I think it's okay. Some things that's good about it that stands out is the combat. Yeah, of course, in Devil May Cry fashion, the combat is nice, quippy, stylish, freaking sexy, you know what I'm saying? But to be honest, it's not as grotesque as what I remember like DMC3's is with like the aerial combat. But for a first iteration and also like the first thing in the franchise, I don't think it's as bad as what I remembered. You know, I remembered this game being like, one, a hard ass game, and two, having like barely any story. Yes, the story in this game is whatever, you know what I'm saying? They do have some moments. No! Say it, Dante.
I should have saved you.
Say it! Please!
I should have been the one to fill your dark soul with light!
Yes! Yes! But what I remember from the story is that the story basically only had certain moments to establish Dante's character, and replaying it now, I think it kind of does a bit more. You know, I don't remember like towards like the end of the game on how, or towards like when Trish gets revealed and her being like a backstabber, how what happened to Dante's mother and his brother. I did not remember that at all. You know, I thought the only thing that they would show to reference it was Neo Angelo's Virgil's pendant, or amulet. But other than that, man, I think kind of it's okay. You know, it's okay. What I do like about it is I think by far is that the bosses here are by far the most memorable bosses. I look back to like from my memory of especially Devil May Cry 3, 4, and especially 5 being my favorite, a third favorite game of all time, is like those bosses, especially like 5 in particular, those bosses aren't memorable at all. Or like the one thing I remembered from playing Devil May Cry 1 is that the bosses are something that you can always look at that game and remember them. Seeing Phantom, like fighting Phantom, beating his ass, sure, like at the time it was hard, but now like somehow I flew through this game, but fucking nasty fuck. Good. Good. Good, Dante! Good, Dante! Good his ass! Where am I at? Fighting him for the first time, like, going through that, him sinking down, and then now chasing after you through multiple missions, trying to get your ass. And what's cool about it is that you can try to fight him too, but realistically, if you do, you will die. Holy shit! Run that fucking ass. And that's the thing about Devil May Cry that I kind of do like, that it's punishing as shit, you know? Like, you only have one shot at this. One shot, you can only heal once, or if you pull out a devil trigger, and that's it. If you die, if you don't have a yellow orb, you start right from the beginning. And I like how punishing it is in that way, but the bosses themselves are pretty memorable. That Griffin freaking being able to, or Griffin fighting an actual flying boss, it ain't bad, but what I really remember from that boss is freaking him trying to ask Mundus for help, and Mundus just killing his ass like it's a damn execution a little bit. No, master! Please! Why me? He liking that shit too, though. Nice, you know. But even in regards to Neo Angelo, how Neo Angelo straight up he taunts you, you know, the good old taunt. I never utilize the taunt as often when I play Devil May Cry because I'm trying to even just fight for my life. But the taunting that Neo Angelo is able to do to you is like he's trying to freaking make you like, come on, you ain't done. Come on, come for me, you know? Shit. Don't ever taunt me, nasty bum. Fuck. And just the one-on-one fight is nice. I think the boss selection here is memorable, easily. By far, I think the most memorable, like where I could actually pinpoint the names. Sure, there's only like realistically 4, you know, and that freaking nasty old scissor guy that freaking, it's probably the hardest thing ever. The fire, what is it? Ram head scissor guy, you know? But I just think that this game is, yeah, I think, yeah, the bosses are really memorable. The story ain't that great, but also like this, if you didn't know, which I think most people know by now, is like this was supposed to be a Resident Evil game, and I think it's pretty much Resident Evil coded. I never played the originals, but from playing RE2 on how like you have to search and explore, maybe backtrack, and most of the some of the damn times I have to look up. And what do I do here? I'm confused. Okay, I'm lost. I just forgot where to freaking go. I think back to like when I replayed the game, I think that's why it was so rough for me to really play it and be in that groove, is because I never played a game like that. The only game that I played that really, at that time, I only played like really story games. And the only other game at that time, or even prior to that, that a lot of people loved that I didn't, was like BioShock, where BioShock now, like I have BioShock, I think at like a 5.5 or a 5, because it really didn't do nothing. But now I'm like curious to actually replay that game to see like, okay, maybe I'm different. But to explore the exploring, it's all right. But there's something that I really just don't like is how you can miss weapons. You can miss weapons, and I'm glad that they don't do nothing else with that. Where like I don't know about Devil May Cry 2. I don't remember Devil May Cry 2 at all. But how you can miss weapons, like especially the shotgun, which is like probably the best shooter weapon in the game. You know, like actual handgun in the game, and it sucks that you can actually miss it. You can miss it more than you could probably miss a grenade launcher, you know? And I don't like that. I don't like that, but clearly this is like Resident Evil coded. I never played the originals, but playing a remake, I do remember like for like weapons like the Magnum, you have to actually freaking search for those weapons, do certain things to acquire that weapon, you know? But yeah, I think the underwater sections aren't good at all, but it's whatever. I was just like, all right, it's not as bad as what I thought it was. But yeah, man, I'm kind of glad I wasn't as overall like sour with this replaying of the game. You know, I think me playing more and more different varieties of games made me actually freaking probably look at this one and be like, this one is not really tailored towards a story. You know, they have some bits for Dante's character, but they don't have it in a way that's so drawing, you know what I'm saying? Like it's like compelling in a way. There's nothing really compelling here, but I wouldn't judge people who think it kind of is, I guess. But kind of what I was wishing and kind of hoping that Capcom maybe does do is do like a little story, like how the length of this, where it'd be like 6 hours, having a story strictly on the Sparta, the legendary Black Knight Sparta, because I'm just thinking to myself, I was like, why have they not done that? There's like a huge alley there. I don't know how they do it with like the Devil May Cry anime. I know a lot of people don't like the anime, you know what I'm saying? I never watched it. But my question is, why haven't they not done that? Where you can have that little bit of having it where you see how Sparta was in the underworld, and you can see how he met Dante's and Virgil's mom, and how that changed him, and him wanted to fight for the human world and seal down the underworld. I just think that's a big angle where I think they actually can go towards, but I don't know if I think Capcom is probably just scared to ship a Devil May Cry game without Dante. I think they are, but I don't know, man. They should honestly do that. It could be like easy, like a 6-hour story, something to have, like, I don't know, because it's just they talk about him in a way that he's like legendary and unfreaking stoppable. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I really have nothing else to say about it. It's an okay game. I can't wait. The one that I really can't wait to replay is Devil May Cry 3. I love, like, Devil May Cry 5 is my favorite game of all time. Yes. third favorite game of all time, but I think about Devil May Cry 3 more than 5. So now I'm freaking worried that like 3, I'm not really worried, maybe not, that like 3 will like outrank 5 completely, because like 3's story is so good. But that's for whenever I get to play that. But that's when Chaddy Talks Games, man. Comment down below what you like about Devil May Cry 1 or dislike about Devil May Cry 1. And yeah, man, that being said, hope you enjoyed the video and stay safe. Y'all really wanted me to talk about Devil May Cry 2? That shit sucks. What do I have to talk about it? The helicopter? Dante? Lucia? I have nothing good to say about it. I want to erase it from my mind. I literally had to rage quit it. Not rage quit it. I just don't want to play it again. But, you know, I'll still count as beating it. Even though I didn't roll credits. Yeah, okay. A tank? No! Not a tank! How did I invest a tank? A helicopter? No! I can't take myself serious.